Today's host is Ella Morgan.
Hi.
Yes! I mean, you're in my seat.
I'm taking your place, bitch.
We were both in the rumoured lineups for Celeb Big Brother.
There was discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would have gone for Chris if you were in there? And what do you think on the situation with our JoJo?
You don't hold back, do you?
You were on Celebs Go Dating. You tore the out of that show, didn't you?
I actually walked away with a boyfriend, which is like not ever heard of on a show like that. Now, obviously, things have happened. My trust in men right now is probably not the best. Yeah, honey hasn't been fed in a while.
Welcome back to another episode of Not My Bag. Today, we're having a Pride special. I'm in the hot seat. Today's host is Ella Morgan.
Hi.
Yes!
I just realised, is this okay? Like this?
Yeah,
Good?
absolutely.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you're in my seat. I've never sat here before.
I know, but now I'm going to sound like Mariah Carey. Because this is my better side. I'll look, camera 3. This is my better side since I have my nose job. And so I just don't like sitting on the other
That's
side.
absolutely fine. You're the first guest I've ever moved for. So how does that make you feel?
Okay, now I do feel like a bit.
You're...
I wouldn't have it any other way because I know I'm going to feel happy watching this back because I love watching myself back.
Good. It's a Pride special. We're going to start with a vibe check to make sure that, do you like that? The colours changed. It's cute, isn't it?
Cute.
I'm going to throw some quick fire questions that you write, and you've got to tell me if you're guilty or not guilty of doing these things.
Okay.
It's going to get us into it, yeah?
Fine.
Right. So have you ever replied to a story to just start drama on Insta?
Yes. Yeah.
Stalked a TikTok comment section for tea?
Yeah, especially when it's about me.
I do that all the
I
time.
love reading comments about me, even when they're bad.
Do you do it on like podcast clips or just random
anything.
clips?
I literally type my name in. I was doing it last night.
you?
Hashtag Ella Morgan. I just see what people
Ella,
write
that's
about
so
me.
bad.
Oh, is it bad?
No, it's not bad. No, the content's not bad.
Oh.
I mean, because what if it's bad? Like,
I know it is usually always bad. She
know.
sounds like a man. He's a man. But I've heard it all now. So to me, I'm like, what?
So you do it like because it doesn't hit you,
Well, I just try and look for the good comments.
Fine.
But yeah,
Well, I'm gonna
I
start-
don't mind doing it. I got thick skin.
Yeah. Stop doing that. It's not good for your brain.
Yeah, probably.
Pretended to love a hobby to impress someone.
Yeah.
Any particular?
Yeah, when I was younger, before I transitioned, you used to get like Match of the Day magazines.
Yes.
I mean, I used to borrow them off my brother, and then to try and look like I was this like, like a cis heterosexual like lad, I would cut out the pictures of my favourite footballers and put them on the wall. Secretly, it's because I fancied them, but I only did it because I was like, yeah, I love football.
That's
Mum,
such
I'm gonna
gammon
go play
behaviour.
football with the lads. I used to go to the girls' house and like paint nails.
So I also used to love it's like Match Attacks or whatever, the stickers. I used to love that too. And I had the same thing. I'd be like, I used to think Ronaldo was fit. Not really the conversation for a Pride special, so let's move on. Told someone no drama whilst being the drama. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's you.
That is me.
Not in a horrible way. I just feel like, have you blocked, unblocked and reblocked the same person in 24 hours?
Yeah. Especially when I know I look the shit and I look good and I want them to see me. Or if I really fancy someone, I'll follow them. And if they don't follow me back within like, I don't know, a few hours, I'll unfollow and then follow them again to try and get at the top of their, what's it called? Like the result.
Would you ever DM first or not? You're not that girly.
No, because I like them to do it first because then I know they're interested. Whereas,
Fine.
yeah.
Have you ever changed outfits just to match the Instagram grid?
No.
Have you
I
not?
like I'm in my own lane. Is that
Exactly
really big-headed?
No, not at all.
No,
'Cause
I
you
just
are.
do me. Like, I don't want to look like everyone else.
And
although
have you
I
ever-
do today.
Have you ever, no, you look gorgeous. Have you ever overdone it with Facetune? Because I have.
I've
many
overdone it with fillers and Botox, but Facetune I try to stay away from because when you've paid as much as I have to look like this, I would be annoyed at myself if I still was using Facetune. So back in the day before I had my face done, then yes, I would have used it. But everyone looks the same. If you Facetune too much, everyone has the same face.
Especially on the guy's Facetune, there's like this handsome thing and literally it makes everyone look the same. I have been guilty of doing that before.
Oh, do you?
No, not now, babe. I just
Okay, good.
used
You don't
to
need
it.
to. You look great.
Thank you so much. Although the Botoxing, I haven't had Botox in ages. I haven't dyed my hair. I'm looking disheveled right now.
I think you look cute.
Thank you. Right. So love and relationships. So are you dating at the minute?
No, I'm not. Dating.
No. How long have you been single for?
So we broke up in December.
In December. Okay, fine.
But it wasn't like a long relationship. Like we were
Yeah.
together for like 6-7 months, maybe.
So you're in the throes of hot girl summer, or we're approaching it right now?
I'd like to think so, but I actually I have no one in my DMs. Like, you know when you become single,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, bring on the boys, like I'm ready.
Yeah.
No one wants me. Like, no one is DMing me. I don't know how to go about meeting anyone. Usually I've met them through a friggin' dating show, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
So I actually don't know how to meet anyone. I am on Hinge. And there's been a few guys, but I never actually get to that point where I like meet them. It's too much effort, especially when they don't live close by. And I would never date the guys from Bristol, trust me. So
Right.
no, and yeah, honey hasn't been fed in a while. So it has actually been a really long time, and I'm starting to be like, I need to find a man.
So we're what's the word? It's not celibate, is it?
Yeah, I'm celibate. Am I celibate?
Or is it abstinent?
Oh yeah, I'm celibate.
You're celibate.
Yeah, but not out of choice, trust
Right.
me. Like, I don't want to be celibate, but I think I'm in this era where I don't know if I want a relationship. Like, I'm so happy being on my own.
Sure.
I don't have time for a relationship. And also,
Yeah.
my trust in men right now is probably not the best because of previous.
Right, okay.
Partners.
So we're all about self-love.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your love language, by the way?
What? Go through them again.
It's like touch.
I mean, everyone's
words of
touch. We all love
affirmation.
being touched.
Touch, words of affirmation, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service.
Yeah. Is this what I
What
need
you
from a guy,
like,
or what
yeah.
I can give?
Or what you like, yeah.
So I definitely like words of affirmation.
Okay.
I think we all gathered that from watching my insecure ass on MAFS, needing to be reassured all the time. I guess, yeah, and I do like physical touch. I like gifts, but I actually usually prefer being the one to like give gifts. I don't
Okay.
know why. Like,
Yeah.
it's like if someone gives me a present, I'm like, oh, thank you. But I prefer giving presents.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's words, I'd say.
Today's sponsor, Hinge, has given us some really interesting insights into the LGBTQIA plus community's feelings towards dating in 2025. Got some facts here on the iPad, so I'm going to run through them. Experts Logan Uri and Mo Ari Brown, Hinge's in-house love and relationship experts, developed evidence-based, reliable guidance with the Hinge LGBTQIA plus date report, having surveyed 14,000 people.
Joe, what is the actual study about, babe?
Okay, so I don't want to get this wrong. The study provides reassurance and consideration to the community to allow them to feel heard as it provides research from relationship experts. So there's a lot to dive into, from gender fluidity to evolving identities.
Oh, come on, I'm ready. I'm so excited.
In the study, they mentioned types, and I think you and I both know that a type can really define you and sometimes box you in as well. So much so that, I've got the fact right here, 45% of LGBTQIA plus Hinge daters have considered dating someone outside of their gender or gender expression they're typically attracted to. Yet 55% of those daters haven't acted on their feelings, which is a crazy, crazy statistic.
I do feel like, as people from the queer community, or like LGBTQIA plus people, especially being trans, a lot of the time it's like beggars can't be choosers. And because I've got this, I guess, this label of being trans that a lot of society don't get or don't agree with or don't understand. When it comes to dating, it's like a minefield being trans and dating. And so now I'm kind of glad, you know, that Hinge has so many broad like genders that you can choose from and sexualities, so that I guess instead of having that awkward conversation with someone about your preference or, you know, whether you're trans or not, you can just let that do the talking, so then you don't have to keep repeating yourself all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I guess for yourself as well, there must be a specific type that you thought you should be into. Do you know what I mean? And then I guess through going on Hinge and also looking at different types of people, you're like, actually, I might try, you know what I mean?
Try
a
something
different
new.
type of person that I typically wouldn't normally go for as well.
Yeah.
When I was dating and using Hinge as well, I definitely was going for a very specific type of guy. And it almost ended up being, they were all similar height, build, hair color, star sign. It was, so when I stopped going for what I was supposed to be into and just started going for people that I thought I might vibe with or had the same interest with, that type of thing, that's when it started to get better. And I ended up getting to where I am now. It's 2025, right? And we as a society are now more open, I think, to evolving identity and labels as well. So I've got some more facts here. We're loving the facts
Give
today.
them to me.
28% of LGBTQIA plus daters experience label fatigue, feeling the pressure to define themselves within existing labels as limiting or inauthentic. 60% of LGBTQIA plus daters have faced judgment when expressing a shift in how they identify. And people are tired of defining themselves, experiencing label fatigue. So do you think the idea of a type has ever ended up being a hurdle for you in your dating experience and, off the back of those statistics?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's so difficult because my personal experience was always I had a type. But I would never get with those kind of guys because they didn't want me.
Right.
And so then I felt forced to kind of just get with anyone at all. Whereas I think now I have the luxury, like a lot of people do, of, I guess when you sign up to Hinge, you have to put in kind of what your interests are and it does usually break down people that are suitable matches. So that's something that's taken out of my hands and then I don't have to worry about. But I definitely think that in the past, it can be a hindrance because I think when somebody's not met someone gay or trans, your idea of that or your perception of that is kind of, to a lot of people, very black and white. Like they either get it or they don't, or they've got this idea in their head or they just have no idea. And I think when they see on my profile, it says trans woman, because I've then labeled myself as that, because I am a trans woman, to some people, they're like, okay, right, she's put herself in a box and that's our perception. So that's what she must be like. Right. Whereas they then don't get to know me as a person. So it has been a hindrance before because for me, it's like they fetishized it.
Right, okay.
And it's been like, oh, we only want to date you because you're trans.
Yeah.
But then for me, I like sometimes having that choice to put female or to put trans woman because I then don't want to have that awkward conversation with every guy I date of being like, oh, just so you know, I am trans. Yeah. So it does help, but in my experience, it's definitely been a hindrance because it's like, oh, we only like you because you're trans.
Sure. So you would say that there's been label fatigue from other people, or from yourself, sorry, for putting that trans woman thing because you're like, I don't want to keep explaining myself.
But then other people have judged me based on that label because of what they think a trans woman is. Yeah. So I don't know. I think,
and then because you've then naturally, that's deterring them from speaking to you, and then you're constantly going for your normal type, which are also those guys that might fetishize. I totally get it. So you're like, this is an annoying loop, but I guess with Hinge now and it being so open and so easy to choose all of those different categories and express yourself how you want to, then I guess it's a lot easier, which is good.
Hinge, well done.
We're allowed to change our mind about how we feel about things, right? Places, people, and we all need to normalize allowing ourselves to be a bit more fluid, I think. And there's come with some more statistics, right here, that 50% of LGBTQIA plus Hinge daters have felt the need to present as more masc or femme to attract someone. And daters are discovering that chemistry and connection matter more than categories. So as an advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community, how do labels help you feel seen and how do they limit you?
I think they limit me in the sense that people have this idea of what a trans woman is or a trans man or a gay person. And so that's a negative, I think. But then I definitely feel like I'm seen more by labeling myself because if I get to do that and I have the opportunity to put myself in a box or label myself a certain way, it means that other people can't do that for me. Yeah. Because I've done it myself. It's I am a trans woman, because there's nothing worse than writing that I'm female. And then when I then have the conversation with them and say, oh, just so you know, I'm trans, they feel lied to. And so I'm like, do you know what? I'll take it out of your hands. I'm going to own this and be like, yeah, I'm a trans woman. So that makes me feel more seen. And I guess it means it's easier to sift out the ones that are like interested or accepting of being with someone like me and those that aren't.
I was about to say, I guess it must feel lovely at the same time as well for you.
Yeah.
If you meet someone and they're like, oh, I've seen your label as a trans woman, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. And then you're like, oh my God, incredible. I think we need to normalize, right, that identity attraction and dating preferences can evolve. And I think that our listeners at home also need to look at new connections without overthinking labels at the same time. So Ella, have you ever outgrown a label that once might have been essential to you?
Yeah, 100%. I think all of us go through stages when we're younger of like having a fixation of that's my type, that's what I like, or at least we think we like that. And I think with age, and the good thing about like, I think getting older is that you mature and that you grow and you have a lot more life experience. And so now I would go for guys that, you know, maybe I wouldn't have gone for like 10 years ago. Like I'm now open-minded to dating someone who's not just straight. Whereas for so many years, I've always said because of my own issues with my own confidence and putting myself in a box, I was like, you know, he has to be straight. And if he's not, like, I can't date someone.
Okay.
But now I think I'm older. I'm like, do you know what? Love is just love. Like, as long as, you know, this person identifies as a man, I'm definitely not in my lesbian era. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, I'm all about just feeling the vibe and going less for looks and more for, it sounds cliche, but and going for like the personality.
Gorgeous. Loving that growth.
I know. This is why I love voice notes, because then I'm like, voice note me back.
I mean, all of these stats can be quite intimidating. And seeing stats with a percentage as high as 60% is obviously quite enlightening in a way, because it makes you think, okay, well, you know, other people are experiencing the same things. And, you know, not just a small 2% stat, you're also sat there, you know, seeing these stats thinking, okay, I'm not alone in what I'm feeling. And I think it's quite nice because this report really like validates people experiencing this. And you're not going through it alone. You know, these are stats on paper that show that you are being supported, which I think is amazing. Check out Hinge's LGBTQIA plus date report for tips and real stories on exploring love beyond labels by tapping the link in the description of this episode. We were both in the rumoured lineups for Celeb Big Brother. You were everywhere with it. Is there any tea there? Like, were you asked what was the situation?
There was discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe one day. I think I think I'd be quite good on it.
I think you'd be amazing on it. Do you think that you would have gone for Chris if you were in there?
So what I did do, I kept looking at the lineups, like the rumoured lineups, and I kept thinking, so if I do go in, who out of the people in the rumoured lineups would I get with? Yeah. I don't know why I thought that. No, I don't think Chris, no, he's not.
Fine.
Not
and what
me.
do you think on the situation with our JoJo?
You don't hold back, do you? I've
given my opinion, to be fair. I'm happy to do it again.
I ship it. I think, you know what? Whatever makes somebody happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, guys, I thought it was PR at the start, and now I'm like, what the hell?
I don't feel like they've actually confirmed it, though. Like, they keep getting asked, but they dodge the question. And I'm just like, please tell her.
There was a leaked pic of a kiss in a pool. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, no.
So, you know.
Naked?
No.
Oh.
This is how rumours start. This is how the whispers start.
Just them kissing.
Just
We're
them kissing in
right,
a pool.
okay,
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen
Could have been a friendly kiss. All friends kiss. We've kissed before. I've got a picture on my phone of us kissing at a PLT party.
Me and you?
Friends kiss, yeah.
Oh, God.
Like fully necking on as well.
Didn't we kiss too? So Kate's in the background.
Yeah,
I kiss everyone.
We've all
I'm drunk.
kissed. So I'm sure you're bored of talking about this. We'll run through it very quickly. Most people know you from MAFS. You obviously had crazy time on that show. You then were featured on the reunion, weren't you, on the last series?
Yeah.
Which was so random. Like, how did that come about? Because it was just like you and Tasha and everyone.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I agree. It was random. To be fair, I think it was because they needed someone to give some drama.
Okay.
So, but you didn't see half of what actually happened. So there was drama.
Right.
But they didn't really air much of me. So watching it back, because I watched it with my family and I didn't know how much of the episode I'd be in.
Yeah.
So I kept thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to come on now and they'll show this bit and that bit. And they showed hardly any of it. So looking back, everyone was like, what was the point of me being there? And I agree, what was the point?
No, I thought it was funny. It was just, I wasn't expecting to have ex-cast members.
I got told that actually through the grapevine, it was because a lot of the season that's just aired, they got either told they weren't allowed to do it because they've been governed off online, or a lot of them didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
So it meant that there was space for the icons.
Yeah.
Or the icon.
The icon.
As soon as they asked me, I was like, as long as you pay me, I'll come back. Cool. I mean, I was apparently the top of their list. They were like, we need Ella. She's the star of the show.
Of course. And what do you think of... I feel like there was a load of drama from the last series that happened, even more than I think your series, in terms of like people going to press and selling stories and faking 100%. Relationships and all that. What did you think overall of the previous series?
So I actually was too busy. I didn't watch it. I was booked and busy. I didn't actually watch it, but I did keep up with some of the clips online. I think, I don't know.
I found that there was way more energy in the show where I think people were like, we're going to come out of this and like do the podcast circuit and be on the cover of magazines. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was that energy with the fights. I feel like there was way more fights. It was very aggressive. There was a lot of drinking at the dinner parties as well, like a lot more slurring than usual series.
No, I do think there was definitely more drama in the last season than my season. But I also saying that, I do think a lot of them probably had watched like my season and been like, right, we're going to bring the drama. And I remember I was doing an interview with like Paul, and we were speaking about that season. And just before it got aired, he did a radio show and was like, he was being asked about what the cast is like last year. And he was like, they're really authentic. Like, they're really just normal, relatable people. I watched some of it and I thought, really? They're not relatable. They're all crazy. It was like, none of them are doing it for the fame. None of them are doing it for, the clout. And now I'm like...
I think it's hard in this day and age to not think that when people agree to sign up to a TV show that they know that they're going to want to get something out of it, you know?
Yeah, true. I mean, I say it with chess. Like, I have been open about the fact I did it as a platform or like
Are you happy you did it?
Yeah, it's changed my life. Literally, it's changed my life for the better. So no, I don't regret a thing. But also, you've got to think that for people like me, like being trans, there's very few shows that we get given the opportunity to go on. So it is a little bit like, I don't know, we don't have the pick that say a lot of like boys and girls do. They could go on Love Island, whereas I'm not ever going to get Love Island and other shows. So I kind of just thought, well, I'm going to have to go for it, and I knew that I was going to do well, because I just believed in myself.
And you did. You were on Celebs Go Dating. You tore the shit out of that show, didn't you?
What does that mean? Is that a good thing?
No, it's a good thing.
Shit.
It's a good thing. You did really well. My favourite thing, and always sticks in my mind, was that guy that you dated who tattooed his bum hole.
So I actually didn't know at the time that was true.
Yeah.
So he never told me that. He told Jamelia, I think it was.
Right.
So then it wasn't until I watched the show back that I found that out. I had no idea.
You didn't see it?
No.
Right.
Thank God.
I've just always wondered what a tattooed bumhole looks like.
We could ask him.
Get your phone out.
Send us a pic, yeah.
Pride special.
I don't think I'd want to see it.
And how would you describe your overall experience on Celebs Go Dating?
I mean, now, the answer that I'm going to give you probably would be slightly different than a few months ago.
Yeah.
But at the time, like when I left, obviously, with Alex, it did, in my eyes, I was like, it did change my life, because I actually walked away with a boyfriend, which is like not ever heard of on a show like that. So, but now, obviously, things have happened. It was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. And I learned a lot of lessons. So and I met amazing people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing, or would I?
Do you still speak to Stephen a lot as well? Because you guys are really close on the show.
Yeah, not as much as we used to.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I like everyone.
The new season, have you seen the lineup?
I have.
Like Kerry Katona.
Yeah.
I thought she was married. She not? I don't know. I can't keep up.
No, I can't.
I literally can't keep up with these people. So you have recently as well been doing a lot of activism. And you've also like had a bit of a image brand change. Would you say that? I think so.
Okay,
in
tell
a positive
me about
way.
it. What do you think their changes?
I feel like you're giving more demure, put together energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Because like when I first, we were in the old studio for the podcast, and you'd been on Saving Grace, and you spilled like a drink all over the stage. They were like,
vodka.
The episode was crazy wild.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're giving chat show host, I mean, you're in my seat. Um,
I'm taking your place, bitch.
and I'm loving it. So yeah, you're doing a lot more in the activism space, and you're like a visible and powerful voice for trans women. How does that feel? And do you feel any pressure, to be visible and to be that voice for people?
Yeah, I said it before. Like, I think when you go on a show and, you're, I guess, different to the most people that go on shows who are like white, cis, heterosexual people, whether that being that you're gay or that you've got a disability or that you're trans, I think the spotlight is then on you even more because there's not many people like me on television. And so whether I asked for it or not, I knew that being on MAFS and like being an open trans person, I would naturally have to become a voice.
Yeah.
Not that I asked for it, but also not that I mind. Like, I love what I do now. But if you'd said to me like 15, 20 years ago, like, I'm going to be the person that I always wanted but never had for so many people, I would just be like, no. But I just feel like I want to be known as more than just like Ella from MAFS or Ella, the like reality star.
Yeah.
Because there is so much more to me. But I also think that when I get given the privilege and honor of having a platform and being on TV, I need to try and do the best that I can to represent my community because there's not many of us out there that like have these opportunities. So yeah, it is a lot of pressure, but I actually just try not to think about it because if I thought about it, I would crumble and I just wouldn't ever want to wake up.
Just got to take it in your
stride.
stride.
I'd want to wake up. That was really dramatic. I just wouldn't want to be in the public eye.
Yeah. You also did you have like a lot of like filler and stuff dissolved, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or like there was like a transformation.
Yeah,
thing.
so I think it was this time last year. So after MAFS, I obviously watched it back. I
Was
had
it
massive
pre-BAFTA?
lips and really bad peroxide blonde hair with extensions. And it wasn't until after I thought, God, I look terrible. Like, I looked awful. So then I signed with my management at the time, and I was a bit like, I want to have a bit of an image rehaul.
Okay.
So I had the bob.
I love the bob.
And then I dissolved all of the filler, like every last bit.
Yeah.
And then I tried to dress more, I guess, classy and demure. And I felt like I had a bit of a glow. I went darker with the hair. And so now I've had like another makeover where I don't use sunbeds anymore.
Do you know?
I've tried to ditch the extensions. I have got clip-ins, but I don't actually wear like the tape ones anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like healthy, so I don't, I just look after myself now. But I've ditched a lot of the fillers, but I did go back not so long ago and have a little bit.
No, I think
because it was too much. I went from looking like trout pout to like, I don't know, Squidward. I was just like, no, this is too much. I need to have a little bit.
I think a little nip and tuck here and there is always fine, And I think that's natural. It's going to happen. I mean, look, I'm going to have one of those. What's that deep plane facelift that Kris Jenner's just had?
I want one.
You best believe when I hit 50, that's happening.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be 40 on album.
You heard about it though. They like individually pull like each muscle fiber in your face. Probably need to fact check. That's probably incorrect. Right back, so it just completely changes.
Yeah,
your face.
I want that.
Same.
I want to come out looking like a different person.
Speaking,
even though I already do. Like, I literally was a boy once, so now I look completely different. So I have got a different face. Do you like the image overhaul?
I think you look great, and you look glowing and
Thank you.
Healthy. And because that's why when you were speaking about the activism part and that type of thing, I did wonder like if you felt almost like when you dissolved the filler and changed your image,
I was taken more seriously.
Way more, also more vulnerable for you, I guess, as well.
I just think I'm now at a place where I love who I am inside and out. And it's not so much about getting my boobs out or wearing really tight dresses or having to say something that I know is going to be like controversial. Like, I am just me now.
Yeah.
I dress way more like toned down because I'm comfortable in my own skin, but also I wanted to be taken more seriously. Like, if I kept going on the way I was going after MAFS, no one would have taken me seriously. So I felt like I had to look different.
Yeah.
Or just a bit more like, I guess, grown up.
Do you feel like do you get more nervous? So for example, when you were doing Paul Branson's pod, right?
Yeah.
Did you feel more nervous to do that than you did for doing a show like MAFS? Because I guess there's more of a front you can put on when you kind of play a character of yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're sat there and he's good.
Yeah.
And he would make me cry.
Yeah.
So is that a different experience?
I'm lucky that I knew Paul, but I also grew up loving, like, I used to watch, can you remember Piers Morgan Life Stories?
Yeah.
And the aim was that he would always get his guests to cry.
Yeah.
And I used to say to my mum, one day when I'm older, I'm going to be famous and I'm going to go on something like this. And obviously Paul did the pod, and there is certain pods that are on my like tick like list of ones to do.
Is hosting not my bag on there?
Yes. Hi guys, welcome to my pod. And so he was just like, Ella, I'd love you to be on. And I was like, honey, I've seen your pods. I know what you get out of people. So I knew that he was going to make me cry. But I think the only thing I ever get nervous about is doing speeches or panels.
Okay.
So the pods and like TV are like a walk in the park for me. I actually come more alive when there's a camera in front of me.
Sure.
Like I just feel like that's what I was meant to do and I feel comfortable. Whereas if you put me in a room with like, I don't know, 1,000 people and then I've got to do a speech, that's when I get nervous.
I get nervous too in those situations. And I think that it's always hard to gauge the type of crowd. Yeah. Like I presented at an awards thing and I went up and I cracked a funny and everyone was like, and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to sip this wine. And no, I don't think so. I
would have been the only one like, yeah.
I also did, was it the Attitude Pride Awards? And yes. I said to Girls Aloud were sat there. Well, it was...
it was Metro Pride, I remember.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. It was the Metro Pride Awards. And yeah, it was Kimberly Walsh and Nicola. And I just went, I fucking love Girls Aloud. And then I was like, why did you say that? Why did you say that?
And then I had to follow you. And I just made a complete tit of myself.
It's difficult. And I agree with the panel, like you said as well. I think when you're on a panel speaking and you're kind of the expert in that area, you really go inward because you think, well, I have to sound official and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you don't want to make a mistake. Whereas I agree. I think when you're in this environment, when you're comfortable, you can just chat as if you're just having a chat.
I've made the thing of like, I've never called myself an activist, but I have always said I'm an advocate. And the reason I've done that is because with an activist, you've chosen to talk as an activist on behalf of a whole community. When you're an advocate, you're, I guess, using your lived experience to raise awareness.
Sure.
So if I say anything that people don't agree with, I'm less likely to be cancelled. Whereas I think with if I proclaimed to be an activist and I say one thing wrong, my career is over and I've upset not only like my peers, but also a whole community. So there's a lot of pressure, but I always just say, as long as I'm myself and I'm authentic and I haven't like lied about anything or I've not been fake, then that's all you can do.
And you're not going to know everything. I think being labelled as an activist, you're expected to be the wealth of knowledge for this whole topic that is also constantly evolving as well.
Yeah.
Another question I had for you is, what are your plans this year for Pride? Like, what are you... Because
there's loads.
I see you touring about the UK.
So last year I did like all of the big ones, like Manchester, London, Brighton, and then I introduced Girls Aloud on stage. That was like, I think one of the best. Did you have
like pink hair? Did you have pink hair? Or am I making that up?
No, pink hair was for the for our PRT thing.
Right, because I remember you had pink hair at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But yeah, you introduced Girls Aloud.
Yeah, that was amazing. So this year I'm doing like, I don't actually, my manager's here, but I actually don't know specific Pride, but I am doing a lot. Yeah.
Right. So you're doing a little Pride tour.
Yeah.
We had our Pride party last year.
I know, it was amazing.
Which was so much fun.
It was fun.
That's genuinely the best I've ever felt in drag in my whole life.
You looked amazing.
Thank you.
You looked better than a horror, and I love a horror, but you did.
I could see in a horror's eyes when she did me up that she was like, fuck.
Bitch, you look good.
She was like, I've made a monster. I even after the party said to Kane, like, we need to go out. I look too good. I can't go home.
Didn't we end up going out? Did we go to Freedom?
And then Chris Taylor was at the bar and he turned around and he was like, you all right? And I was like, it's Joe.
Oh my God, I don't remember that.
I was like, it's Joe. And then he was like, what on earth is happening right now? And I was like, I know I look good right now.
Yeah.
If Chris Taylor is looking at me up and down. Do you plan your outfits for Pride? Like, do you go all out? What's the vibe this year? What you think?
Yeah. So usually I try and do like trans flag.
Okay,
so
cute.
blue, white and pink. But I feel like I've done it now. I've done it to death. Like I've worn like the trans flag wig. I've done like the dress. So I'm a bit like, I'm just going to go... Yeah, just glam Ella.
Okay, cool.
But I do always like being a little bit extra.
I think for Pride, that's when you almost like drag yourself up, don't you, in that way?
Lots of latex, lots of like, just not revealing outfits, but kind of like, for me, Pride is when I get to be a drag version of myself.
Yeah.
And I love it. I take so much inspiration from Drag Race. Yeah, but it's usually really hot during Pride and I don't want to be sweating. I remember last year I was sweating so much.
Because you've got to put it on with like lube and stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
To get it stick on.
Yeah.
You doing hoopla?
That's this weekend.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going. Yeah, are you?
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't know how I'm going to do it because I feel exhausted.
Are you introducing anyone?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping to.
My one thing I love about Ella is day by day. She's just like...
Yeah, I don't know what's happening next week, let alone tomorrow.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm kind of living like that
I have no outfit though. What are you wearing?
I've got no outfit either, babe. I'm just like basically just taking it as it comes. I'm really into
Yeah, but
football
as a
jerseys
girl,
at the minute.
You can't do that. Like, you have to have an outfit.
I
You can't just make a
know.
decision on the day.
I know.
And I'm going with Nick, so I have to like make a proper effort.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have got a latex like jumpsuit. I don't know why I keep talking about latex. And I'm thinking it was made for me, but I might cut it into like a play suit or like a unitard.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
I have nothing else to wear.
Right.
So
Well, we can plan that
and
afterwards.
I need to be a bit extra. Come
Yeah.
on, it's me.
Yeah, exactly. Get that pink wig
How
out
bad
again.
was my BAFTA outfit?
I loved your BAFTA
Did
outfit.
you see it? It was, I'd say, the best one.
Ella
there.
had the most amazing BAFTA outfit. However, it was like you were walking around with 9 traffic cones around you. There was no one could get close to her.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so nice to see you. And then I was trying to hug you. And I was like, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
I'm giving up.
It
I loved
wasn't
it.
like the most easy outfit to wear, and I had to wear it the whole rest.
But they're always the best ones.
Yeah,
The, the ones that are uncomfortable are normally the ones that look the best.
True.
Fashion has. Let's jump into the messy bag, my honey. So basically, this is this or that we play. The lights
I
changed
know.
again. So I'm just going to go through some random this or that's, and you've got to hit me quick fire with what you would choose. Step in wet socks or sit in someone else's warm bath water.
Oh, I would step in wet socks.
That's sick.
Why? What would you do?
No, I'm joking.
they're not good options.
I'm really against wet things on my feet, so I'd probably get in the bath water because it's basically like getting in a swimming pool in it. But
What
with
if
the
someone
chance
has
of a
like done
venereal
a full body
disease.
shave?
Oh yeah, that's disgusting. Okay, well both are bad. Always have food stuck in your teeth or toilet paper stuck on your shoe.
Oh, toilet paper on the show.
Yeah, there's something about just having something in your
I'm
mouth.
so funny about teeth and hygiene.
You know when people stare at you if you got something and don't tell you and they're just looking at your mouth, up there with one of the worst
Yeah.
feelings in the world. Like
I
truly.
would tell you,
Good. I would tell you as well, so I'm glad we're on the same page.
unless I don't like you. There was the famous person that actually spoke to me once, and I wasn't a big fan of her, and she had really something like bad in her teeth, and I just didn't say anything.
I'm obsessed with that. Good for you. Good for you, girl. Burp loudly on a date or fart silently but smelly at a meeting.
Oh, you go first.
I think I burp loudly anyway, so I think what's the problem, you know?
What was the other one?
Or fart silently but smelly at a meeting.
Oh, no, the burping one. But then you could get away with just blaming someone else on the fart. I do it all the time. If I fart, I go in a big room setting. I'm like, God, can you smell? And it's always me that does that. I always
It's
go,
always-
oh, can you smell? Like, God, someone's farted.
Hey, rule number 1, whoever smelt it dealt it. Poo in a public toilet with no... There's a lot of shit in here. Saffron obviously needed a poo this morning. Poo in a public toilet with no lock or no loo roll.
With no lock.
No lock. Just stick your foot up. You've always got a heel on. Just stick it.
Okay, yeah, or a platform. Yeah.
Walk around all day with a wedgie or an obvious stain on your trousers.
Probably the wedgie.
I think I'm fine as long as it's not shit stain. I
would be a bit concerned if you had shit stains in your pants.
I always have stains on whatever I wear anyway because I'm just so clumsy.
Did you say shit stains on your
No,
pants?
I don't shit myself. Sorry. I don't
was
know.
gonna say.
I said clumsy as in, oh my God, let's move on. I can't bear this.
I have a wedgie right now. I'm wearing a thong.
Do you?
Thongs just give that to you.
Yeah, but you don't want like BV or whatever. Isn't that like bad if it gives you a rash? I don't know. I don't know anything about like vaginas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not a vagina expert, unfortunately. Go viral for an ugly cry or an ugly dance.
I mean, I've gone viral from an ugly crying on MAFS and Celebs where all I did was cry.
Yeah.
So
you
yeah,
choose that
I'm
one
quite
again.
happy with that. At least people know I'm an emotional queen.
Can you dance? Can you TikTok dance?
I can dance.
You can?
Yeah.
Come on, Strictly.
Yeah. Yes. Manifest that shit.
Putting it out there here. And accidentally send a nude to your family group chat or your manager.
Oh, my manager. Yeah.
Seen it all before.
Molly's seen it all before anyway, so I'm always naked.
Yeah, but we love you for that.
Yeah, but
And you've got it, so why not show it off?
Yeah, but I don't see naked bodies like a sexual thing.
Okay.
I know a lot of people do, especially men looking at women's bodies. Like they see it as like a sexual thing. But like, I'm just like, I just just like being naked.
Would you love a nudist beach then? Is that like a bit of you?
No. So that's one thing. So for the first time ever, when I was with my ex, we went on holiday and everyone was topless. It wasn't a nudist beach. And I've never done it before because I've usually been away with my family or like friends.
Okay.
And like, I just wouldn't do that. So I tried it, and with it, literally within 5 seconds, I put my bikini back on.
Just didn't like the
felt
vibe.
So everyone was just staring.
I was just in Barcelona at the weekend, and there's so many boobs on this beach. But my brother's girlfriend said to me, "It's bad for your nipples, apparently."
Oh, really?
And it's bad for your nipples. Yeah.
You don't want to burn the nip.
You don't want to burn the nips. Yeah, apparently it's really bad for you. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
I
for
don't
everyone
like
to know.
tan lines though.
Yeah.
So what do you
I've got
do?
the worst hand lines right now from that trip, but we're not going to get into it. For the last segment, we do the goodie bag, and I've got you the funniest.
Oh no,
You're gonna die. Right, I've got you because you're on Not My Bag. I've got you a tote bag, and it's Shrek, and it says "Born to Slay, Forced to Work."
Is that meant to be me?
No!
Oh!
So I've got you this that you can take on a night out, take to a Pride, take to Hoopla. So this is my gift to you.
Oh my God.
I bought that for Lorraine, and then I realised that I couldn't put it on TV. So I was like, Ella's getting this. I don't know, something to do with Shrek, but I thought it's much more suited to you, not because you look like Shrek, but because, you know.
I mean, I was
slay.
born to slay, but I certainly wasn't forced to work. Honey doesn't work a normal job now. So, yeah. Now my work is doing shit like this.
And I hope you enjoyed that.
No, I did. Thank you. I'm going to get you to like sign it, write a little naughty message.
I can do that. I'd love to do that.
Like something like "Don't burn the nips."
Yeah.
Or something.
Actually, comment "Don't burn the nips" on this episode. Thank you so much. It's been so lovely to finally have you on.
Finally.
And I hope you had fun. I wanted this to be a bit more lighthearted. Didn't want you crying on any more pods. You know what I mean? This is a bit more jazz hands and sparkles. So yeah, thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. If you ever want me back or a co-host, then
sorry,
George, I'm taking over now.
I'm hitting you up. And lastly, is there anything that you want to plug or anything coming up that you'd like to tell people about?
Just make sure. Why am I looking into camera? God, I feel like Lorraine. I'm like, hi guys, welcome to the Ella show. So just follow my Instagram at Ella Morgan C, and just keep up with my life and see where I'm about, and come and meet me and attend my events. And
there'll be a lot of Pride tours. She'll be everywhere this summer, so I'm sure you'll bump into her. Love you so much. Thank you. Everyone at home, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on Spotify, and we will see you again next week.
And if you're hot and single, DM me, because my DMs are like a ghost town.
Or match her on Hinge, baby. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.